Okay, welcome to Rick and Deb's Awesome Adventures. We are here at Woolaroc Museum and Grounds. We're about 12 miles outside of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. So we're getting ready. We've already paid our admission. We're getting ready to go to the actual museum. They also have walking trails that you can take. They got two, I think, walking trails. And they've got a bison area that you can drive through here on the property. There's Old Phillips 66 gas station. The owner, Frank Phillips, bought this property, started the museum, and actually has a lodge here on the grounds. He struck oil in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and eventually became Phillips 66 gas stations. Now, you can visit the well where he struck the oil at. We may not do that today. There's a Native American saying, "Hi, welcome." Might be kind of cold out there today with... Okay, we're going to go on. What happened was Frank Phillips and a business partner were traveling down Route 66, and they were trying to decide what to name the oil company. And his partner said, well, we're on Route 66, just name it Phillips 66, and that's what they did. That's kind of a brief story. Come up here and I'll read this information. And Woolaroc stands for Wood, Lake, and Rocks. Okay. Woolaroc, where oil met the cowboy, the Indian, and the outlaw. Today we look back at history and the romantic times of an era long past. But to Frank Phillips, Woolaroc had the magic of place, and it always called him back to this very ground that he loved to call home. Welcome to Woolaroc. Okay, this is quite an area. It's a huge amount. He's actually buried out here. Now you cannot go up to the tomb, but you can see it. If you've got binoculars, you can zoom in on it and you can see it. Now, today, we might come back this next summer because it's a little cool. It's very windy today, and we're kind of on a time crunch today. Now, there's a little bit of water down in there, a little bit water down there, and they've also got their Christmas lights on right now that you can go visit. We did that one year, a few years ago, and the line was very, very long. It does not move fast. So, but it's worth seeing. Now, they also have a Mountain Man encampment. Then you can go, of course, it's not free, but you can go see how mountain men lived back in the day. We've been to them before. They're very interesting. And they have all kinds of events that you can do. But that'd be something to check into. There's tents over here. There's tents. It says, our incredible buffalo herd arrived from Fort Pierre, South Dakota in January of 1926. And like I said, they do have buffalo grounds or bison grounds, and you can drive through it. But like I said, it gets dark so early now. We're about 2 hours from home, so we will probably not do that today. We might. We'll just have to kind of see what happens. But we're on the road to the museum. They've got a main gate area. You pay there, and then you simply drive on the grounds, and you can enjoy the different things they've got. Like I said earlier, there are two walking trails that you can take, and there's a waterfall on the shorter walking trail. You can look all this up on the web. There's some longhorn cattle out there. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, longhorn cattle. In fact, we're getting ready to come up on some that got outside of the fencing area somehow or another, but we'll slow down here and let you look at them. Yeah, there they are. Hello there. Boy, and we've got a buffalo up here, or a bison. Now the Mountain Man camp is right down that way. Of course, it's not going on right now. But there's a bison right there. There we go. Sorry for but that's it. Okay. Oh, now what we got coming up here? Oh, these might be baby bison, buffalo. No. Okay, sorry. No, these are deer. This is quite the area. I wish they'd open up more of it. And there's some more over here. There's some deer over there. I would love to be able to go all the way through this, but it's a very huge area. Now, when you get to the main gate, from the main gate to the museum area, it's about a mile. It's about a mile drive. Now, they've got a area for the kids, a petting zoo. They've got things like that outside of the museum area. But I think today we're going to mainly just do the museum for today. I think you can take that inner circle around. We did not do that today. It's been, oh gosh, it's been years since we've been to the actual museum. Matter of fact, when we did the Christmas lights, that was like, oh, several years ago. And here's some more deer over here. As you can tell, I'm filming this from the inside of our car, doing the best I can. But of course, the summertime, this is very beautiful out and through here. It's Thursday morning. It's about 10 till 11. If we got time, we might try to drive through where the bison are. We might try. I don't know. We just have to wait and see how the day goes. Anyway, we're really excited to be back. It's been a few years, like I already stated. But yeah. It's really not bad out today. It's like in the upper 50s, but it's windy. It's pretty windy out today, but that's all right. Most of our video is going to be indoors for the actual museum part today. I just had to show you this clip of actually going into you can see the museum in the distance. Frank Phillips brought a diverse collection of animals to his beloved ranch.
There's somebody behind me.
Llamas, buffalo, and there were some other. Evidently we got somebody behind us. I did not know that. Okay, here's some llamas right here, I think. Yeah, that's what those are. There's some llamas. Okay. I've always loved this bridge. This is a really pretty bridge. It really is. I just love the way they did it with their native rock and stone and such. It's very pretty. Yeah. Really nice. And of course they got the lake. Oh, there's a waterfall down there. Yep, got a waterfall down there. Okay. Yeah. And we got some more deer up here. Oh, look at them. There's several of them over here. See if I can. There we go. This says Haunted Grove. Oh yeah, there's some deer. Trying to get through the windows here. Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure what the Honda drove. Oh, and there's let's go over here. We got some more. These are like cows, or yeah. Let me go up here and I'll let you see them. Yeah, we got. It's hard to see around everything. Yeah, okay. It'd be interesting to see what's all out here. It'd be fun to, I've always thought to work out here. We have, oh, ostriches. Yep, they sure are. Look at that. There they are. I forgot they had some of these out here. It's been so long since we've actually been to Willow Rock. And like I previously mentioned, there, the shoulder of the walking trail actually has a waterfall that you can walk up to. So we might have to do that next spring or whatever. We might have to do that. And I believe we're almost up here. Clyde Lake Picnic Grounds. I wondered what the name of the lake was. I'd forgot. But it takes reservations. Original site of Frank's Cow Thieves and Outlaw Reunion. Oh, there's a tent way down there too. See the tent? You know, I bet there's a lot of stuff down here that most people don't get to see on these grounds. It is quite a drive though from the main gate to the museum. Oh, look down there. Yeah, there's a pavilions for picnicking. Yeah, cool. Yeah, even in the winter it's pretty. Yeah. Now that might be the lodge over there. They have a, and I think you can stay there. I'm not sure about that. And you might be able to go visit it. I'm not sure about that either. Yeah. There's a water tower way up there. It says Willow Rock on it. Yeah, all you gotta do is look up the information on the internet and you'll find out a lot of stuff. There's a lot to see in the museum, a lot to see. Another teepee out there. Spencer Spring, they've got a spring down there somewhere. Of course, you'd have to be able to get down there to get to it, to see it. It's probably way down in there. It's probably where the spring is. Museum Lodge just ahead. Cars this way. Cars this way. Yeah, we're almost there. Welcome to the magic of Willow Rock. This is kind of a long winding road. And it's narrow. It's a little narrow. But oh, you wouldn't want to go real fast through here, that's for sure. I thought you might enjoy the drive from the main gate area to the museum. Boy, some of those ravines are really deep. Okay, now looks like we're almost to the museum. Okay. This way the parking lot. We got to make a turn a slight left up here. Another teepee. There's an Indian welcoming us, Native American welcoming us here. Yeah, we're just about to the parking lot, so. I remember coming here as a little kid. Mom, Dad used to take my sister and I here to Willow Rock. There's some interesting rocks right there. Now see, there's a playground for the kids, and I believe there's a petting zoo over there. But yeah, and you can walk around the grounds. They got statues and things of that nature. Yeah. Okay. This still got a little waterfall over there going too. That's cool. Well, it's so windy, we may kind of walk around here a little bit, but it's pretty windy today. And there's the museum entrance right there. We finally made it. We made it. They got some really neat statues out here too. They really do. Okay. Hold on here just a second. Okay, they've actually got another building over here. We make it to that today. They got birdhouses that line the parking lot. They go all the way down. That's kind of cool. We might. This other building is a welcome center, general information, Prairie Dome Cafe, restrooms, and gathering place. Is all this building is straight ahead of you here. Well, it's so windy. It's really not that bad a day today. It's just windy. Now, see, last time we were here, they did not have the Prairie Dome Cafe or restaurant. We might try to walk around here a little bit. They got a tower that you can climb and get a pretty good view from up there if you so desire. And they've got a clock here. I don't remember the clock being here before. Sometimes they've got the flutes playing. I don't hear them playing this morning. Here's an old timey looking clock, Willow Rock, established 1925. Pretty cool. We may go over there after a while. Okay. Oh. You know what? We're going to go look at some of these statues anyway before we go in. There's the main entrance. This first one here says the Indian Maiden. Oh, this says Petrified Plaza. Okay, that's what they're talking about. These rocks must be petrified. The Golden Spear. We've got a Native American. I think he's spearfishing. I think that's what he's doing. Man, I wish it wasn't so windy today. Oh, they got a little bit of water running. Yeah, they sure do. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, they got a little bit of water running there. A little trickle of water. This says 160 million years ago, dinosaurs lived here. Oil and coal deposits were forming, and the petrified woods of this plaza were living trees. Wow, that's crazy, ain't it? Yeah, I mean, it's quite an area. You could spend a lot of time out here walking around looking at different statues, and we'll go look at a few. Now, summertime, this is a butterfly garden. Obviously, it's not one right now. Monarch Way Station. What does this say? Robert C. Stevenson Memorial Garden. This site was planted in memory of local artist Robert C. Stevenson, whose miniature sculptures and handcrafted gun cases are part of the Willow Rock Museum collection. Okay. Gotta be careful where I'm walking at here. Okay. Here's another statue of the Gathering's Daughters. Catherine's Daughters, sorry. Catherine's Daughters. By Deborah Stevenson Walter. Okay. Looks like you just walk in one way, then you just walk out right over here. But you gotta be careful because there's rocks jutting up. You gotta be careful not to trip as you're walking through here. This just kind of goes around this tree. Well, you're going out this other way, I guess. We'll just do that. That might be safer. Because see, these rocks jut out of the ground. It wouldn't be hard to trip over one of these and take a pretty good tumble. Sure don't do that today. And actually, there's a pathway you can take that goes all the way down and around, but we're not going to do that today, I don't think. We would. If it wasn't so windy, I probably would. Okay. Well, gotta get my bearings straight here. Okay. Well, let's go on over here. Like I said, we might go through this later. It just depends on how our day goes today. You can tell they got their Christmas decorations up. They got these flags at half-mast, and I don't know if they're that way on purpose or if the wind just knocked them down. I don't know. Yeah, I think for the admission, you get a lot to see and do here. You really do. I mean, you can spend all day. They open up at 10 o'clock and they close at 5. Well, now we're making our way to the entrance here. Got the United States flag and the Oklahoma State flag flying. I got pictures of me and my sister standing here, right here, this very same spot, right here. Okay. I don't believe we got this statue over here. Let's go take a look at it real quick. It says the outlaw. Okay, there you go. Now we can see it pretty good. By Joe Mora. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, I think we're getting ready to head on inside. Oh, I didn't get the other cowboy over here. Give me a second. We'll go look at that real quick. I bet this is pretty at night. Of course, they close at 5 o'clock, so. It's probably still all lit up, though. The Cowboy by Joe Mora. Yep, cool. Okay. Well, I think we're ready to go inside and get started with the museum here. Okay. I always thought these were cool. Did you go post up in one of those? That might be kind of neat. Not all of them, maybe, just maybe one or two. Get close up to that just real quick. The dancer right there. That's kind of cool. Okay, we're in the main lobby area here. Let's kind of just walk around here so we can. There's a pretty Christmas tree right there. And there's Frank Phillips right there, the oil man with the holiday stocking on. Let's just kind of walk around here a little bit. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Sitting there. Even got presents around the tree. Look at there. You think those have actual gifts in them or not? Sorry, it's echoey in here. I hope it comes out okay. North Pole. And this says, those of us who have been more fortunate have a debt to society which I believe can best be paid by training and educating the youth of the nation. I dedicate this museum to the boys and girls of today, the fathers and mothers of tomorrow. May they profit by a knowledge of man's past and be enabled to plan and live a happier future. Frank Phillips, from 1873 to 1950. They got 2 Christmas trees. Okay. This is simply titled The Indian. And there's medallions of our presidents. No food or drink in the museum, no flash photography. Do not touch art objects. Photography is for personal use only. This is just a list of their sponsors here. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for this first lobby. I love this floor. Look at this floor. I love that floor. That is so pretty. Look at that. That is really nice. Huh. Okay, now we're entering the second gallery. And these are ancient pottery of the Southwest. And there's a bunch of it too. Here's some, and I can't pronounce this, Patean culture, a water jar, 2 water jars, and a water jar, or oella. We just kind of make a circle around. Unique findings within 5 miles of Willow Rock. It's interesting to find these that close. These look like arrowheads here. Head pots. It says, Mississippian culture among the rarest clay vessels made between AD 1200 and AD 1500. Okay, well, and more arrowheads. They have, these look like from cows. Very nice. And here are the these Mississippian stone statuary pieces are artifacts of polished stone in the shape of human figurines. Okay. 800 to 1600 CE. Wow. Shell engravings from Spiro Mound. And here's some, it says fragment of bed mat, fragments of matting from baskets, ornamental fringing, heavy cloth, perhaps part of a blanket that they found in this Spiro Mound. Looks like more arrowheads. A funerary urn. That's huge. That's his water bottle. And this is Frank Phillips during one of the excavations to an archaeological site. Most of the material in this case was excavated by Frank Phillips, the first amateur archaeologist to visit this site, or the site. The specimens are representative of the ancestors of the Spiro Mound Indians. These people lived 1,500 to 2,000 years ago, about 50 miles south of Spiro near Summerfield, Oklahoma. That's interesting. Conch shell, pottery bowl. Another picture of Frank Phillips. I think that was so cool that he was able to do this. Mineral pigments, which were mixed with animal fat and used as body paint. Oh, interesting. Okay. Arrow shaft made of sandstone. More pottery. Golden eagle. Boy, that is just beautiful. Look at that. Just gorgeous. And this was taken from the Spiro Mounds. It shows where we're located at. It says Fort Coffee, Wilson's Rock, Bruce Island. These are way down into the Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, Arkansas. A medicine tube. And there's the mounds. Spiro Mounds are one of the most important Native American sites in the nation. Artifacts found at the site indicate an extensive trade network. Okay. The people of Spiro Mounds are believed to have been Cadonian speakers like modern Wichita, Keachai, Caddo, Pawnee. Okay. There's a spatulate, copper celt, replica of shell as found spiral mounds. The shell came from the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, that's really, really cool. Okay. Now here's an immature bald eagle. Indian burial mound, 4 miles north of Muskogee, Oklahoma. We've been to Muskogee, Oklahoma a couple of times. Tobacco pipe, pottery bowl, pottery water bottle rather. Indian burial mound near Grove, Oklahoma. Wow. Ancestors of the Osage. A beaver gnawing on a tree trunk or part of a tree. Bone hoe made of bison scapula on which is shown a representation of the original shaft. These hoes were used in cultivating plants such as tobacco and corn. Okay. Prehistoric specimens from the village of the Washita River culture. Okay. These prehistoric people were the ancestors of the Plains Indians before Spaniards introduced the horse, making it possible for them to follow the migration of the buffalo. They lived in permanent village and cultivated their fields with implements shown here. Stone scrapers up there in the far left-hand corner. Hopewellian culture, which flourished in the northeastern Oklahoma, 1,500 to 2,000 years ago. Okay, yeah, they really had their act together now. That's a throwing stick. All kinds of implements that they used. Keaton Caves, a group of 7 shallow rock shelters in the Oklahoma Panhandle near the town of Kenton in Cimarron County were first examined in 1928. Artifacts recovered from the caves by various groups. Oh, I would love to go through those. They're probably not open to the public, though. I'd go through those in a heartbeat. This is a bison. Okay. The bison grazed the open prairies between about 9,500 and 6,500 years ago. The first people to inhabit the land that is now called Oklahoma were the descendants of the Asian immigrants who had followed and successfully hunted the large Ice Age mammals for many generations across the land bridge into North Africa. That's just fascinating. There's a mammoth jawbone, a mammoth molar, a mammoth joint, leg joint, and mammoth tusk. This is called the oviraptor. Lived about 75 million years ago. Wow. That's cool. Well, we got some metal cases here. We'll go take a look at these and we'll venture to the next area. Oklahoma Stone Age. A maul or hammer right there. Just all kinds of woodworking tools and that sort of thing. So it's a shopping or driving tool. Looks like we got some jewelry over here. Jewelry from the Great Temple Mound. Shell beads. Shell beads. Oh, look at all these. Are just like from necklaces or pendants. Really beautiful. Just amazing how they were able to make these items so beautifully back in from a long time ago. Oh, this is the House of Spiro were nearly all single type. That's how they lived. Okay, well, I think we're pretty well down in here. Let's go on to the next gallery or room here, and we'll it says the unusual picture frames made of bark on this ranch under our own government patent are to be found nowhere else in the world. The paintings themselves are all original works by America's foremost artist and are so authenticated by the artist or the closest heir. Okay. Santa Clara vase. Very beautiful. Okay, well now we're going to proceed on. I always thought this was a different looking sculpture. Have no idea what that headdress is. Dance of the Mountain Gods. The Gan dancer performing the dance of the mountain gods was the personification of spiritual guidance for the Apache. It represents the good forces driving out evil spirits. This beautiful and inspiring dance is still performed by the Apache on the proper occasions. Okay, well, have no idea what that might have been used for. If anything, it might have just been an ornament type of a thing. I don't really know. Okay, well, let's make our way. Hopi pottery and weaving. Boy, those are just beautiful. These are dolls carved by the Hopi to represent supernatural beings who, according to tradition, once lived among the Pueblo Indians and taught them many things. Okay. A snake dancer. Really too many to mention. There's just a ton of them in here. Warrior. Ooh. Wow. They're scary looking, aren't they? And we got some more down here. And they all had a function. There's just a whole ton of them. The Governor of Santa Clara, oil on canvas, 1936. That's just beautiful. Here's more pottery. Pueblo pottery is a 2,000-year-old artistic tradition, and all 20 pueblos in New Mexico still have their own pottery making traditions and styles. The process of making pottery begins with the potter digging the local clay in their pueblo and then conditioning it in preparation for pottery making. Boy, very beautiful. That's just beautiful. Wow. Some of these are very large pottery pots and that sort of thing. Spring Song, oil on canvas. That's this picture, portrait. That's huge. Silver belts, bone beads, necklaces, squash blossom necklace, souvenir spoons, those belts are just beautiful. Look at that turquoise. Just beautiful. It looks like more of the same down here. But the way they were made is absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Now I think we got this. Let's go over and look around here a little bit. This ox cart, circa 1850, very large. This cart was used in the area around Teos Pueblo for hauling crops in from the fields. A team of oxen, led by a man, pulled the cart. 4 or 5 men worked together because the carts were scarce and helped each other with their crops. Wowee. Very beautiful. I'll get a close-up of these pots here. The artwork is just amazing. Just absolutely beautiful. This is probably going to be a very long video. I may make it 2 parts, but just I just feel like that you really need to experience all of this. It's just so beautiful. I really don't want to leave anything out. I know a lot of times you'll see these and they'll only show like 30 minutes, and I don't know how they do that without really leaving out a whole ton of stuff. Padre de Zia Pueblo. It just mystifies me, the quality. Thousands of years later, it looks like wicker. Yeah, these are. All kinds of baskets. Hopi basketry. Wow. I couldn't begin to do anything like that. Got a big canoe hanging from the ceiling. Birch bark canoe, made by the last surviving canoe maker of the Chippewa Indians in northern Minnesota. The builder was an old woman, the wife of a chief. She made this canoe especially for Willow Rock Museum. Canoe making is a very slow process, and this woman was an extra slow worker. When the canoe was almost done, she became angry at the pleading for a bit more speed, and with a few nails proceeded to tackle the edging around the sides. Wow. And what have we here? Bird Woman. Shoshone. Bronze, 2001. Okay. Just spectators in the background watching. One's waving the American flag, and that is so cool. And beating on the drum back there. Chief White Eagle, Ponca. Chief Two Guns, White Calf. And these are Indian pipes. And it just tells what kind of pipes they are. Indians pipe, plain Indian pipe, soup pipe, Osage pipe. Here's a Ponca buckskin bag, a woman's dress, 1850 to 1875. Pipe bag, sock and fox, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing these right. Buckskin bag, ponca moccasins, ponca pipe, ponca purses. Chief Yellow Shield. Crook's conference with Geronimo. Geronimo was the most feared of the Apache warriors, having used brilliant commando tactics against both the U.S. and Mexican armies. In 1886, Major General George Crook arranged to meet with Geronimo to discuss their peace terms. So impressive was the Apache that Crook offered generous terms. Well, that probably worked out okay. Here's a fragment of Geronimo's saddle blanket. Geronimo's charm brooch right there, sorry. Yeah. Bone whistle right there. Bow and arrow. A ceremonial shirt, pipe bag, another pipe bag, moccasins, saddle blanket, very beautiful. Yep. Girl's dress, Arapaho. Women's dress, Sioux. Right there. Beaded dresses, child's dress, Sioux. Looks on the ground, Crow. Boy, look at all this. Wow, medals of peace and friendship. All kinds of medals underneath there. Apron and leggings. Buffalo dance headdress. Buffalo horn headdress. Rifle scabbard, woodland area. And trade musket, 1823. The Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears is a name given to the forced relocation and movement of Native American nations from southeastern parts of the United States following the Indian Removal Act of 1830. The removal included many members of the Cherokee, Muskogee Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Choctaw nations, among others, from their homelands to Indian Territory. Many suffered from exposure, disease, starvation on the route to their destinations, and many died. That's just horrible. Baptismal robe. Act of the Apostles, even part of the Bible. Hymns in the Chanel language, 1859. Laws of the Cherokee Nation. These are the 12 sacred prayer sticks of the Delaware. 6 and plain and 6 are spiral. Oh, okay, I see. They're prayer sticks, in other words. Okay. And this here is The original carved face image from the center pole of the Delaware Big House north of Dewey, Oklahoma. This Manitou is the visible symbol of the supreme power and is a concrete representation of the spirit forces. The red and black coloration represents life and death. Fire drills for the big house ceremony. The large drill is used to light the sacred fire of the ninth night. So you would put that in there, and the holes and friction would cause fire. Drumsticks. Peace pipe, arm and wristbands, tomahawks down there. Osage peace pipe. Osage moccasins. Wampum belong to the Osage Bear Legs. Children's toys. Children's moccasins. Osage wedding coat. And this is actually a cradle board here. It's not a toy. It's a cradle board to carry infants in. That's what this is. Okay. Those are toys down there. Yeah, okay. All right. Osage drum and bow and arrow. Great Plains buffalo. Dance club. War club, medicine club, and slung shot club. Okay. Cheyenne buckskin shirt. Tobacco and pipe bag over there. Cheyenne coop stick. Cheyenne's child vest. Cheyenne saddle blanket. Leggings. What about that big sheath there? Shoe knife sheath. Wow, that's huge. Look at that. Delaware moccasins, Cheyenne moccasins, beadwork, kerosene can, the cup and spoon, moccasins, horn spoon, porcupine quills right there. Of course, there's the porcupine. Cheyenne armbands. giant buffalo horn, tobacco pouch, and pipe. Oh, okay. Okay. I always love that chair. Isn't that beautiful? That is one beautiful chair. Here's some saddles. Saddle used by Theodore Roosevelt at the Rough Riders reunion at Mulhall Ranch. May Lilly, Mrs. Gordon W. Lilly, was the champion rider of the ruffleshod in her time. This saddle was the last one made for her honor. Was made for her and was used when she appeared before most crowned heads of Europe. Spurs. All kinds of spurs. Oh, looks like they're having a fist fight. Oh, Bowie knives, Winchester rifle, a black felt cowboy hat. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Western saddle at the all remains of Kid. A working cowboy, 1880 to 1890. Wow, that's really cool. The Colt 1873 single action army rifle. Wells Fargo. Straw sombrero, decorated with metal disc around the brim. I see that. Smoking tobacco. Bull whips, high top leather cowboy boots, and spurs. And more spurs. And of course, barbed wire. You always got to have a barbed wire collection. And there are many, many, many different kinds of barbed wire. Look at all that barbed wire. Ooh-wee. Oh, and I think I'm right above a big elephant here. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Branding, livestock. Yeah, that's unknown brand. It says if you recognize this brand, please let us know what it belonged to. It almost kind of looks like a face, maybe? I don't know. Arrow Shot D. Rolla Nathaniel Destin, Wapanaka, Oklahoma. Arrow Shot D. Yes, it's got the D with the arrow in it. Okay, well, that's understandable. Cross Bell. Of course, U.S. United States government. That's what that brand was for. Frank Phillips brand. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Frank Phillips. Sacred Heart Mission and Star brand used by Blue Star. Okay. Wow, there's just so much to see in this museum. It's just crazy. This looks like a chow wagon where they prepare their meals. Yeah, boy, they're out too. Look at there. They're just getting after it now. Looks like eggs and beans and rolls maybe. Big old pot of coffee. Oh, there you go. They got a cowboy already getting ready to eat. Yeah, that's what it is. Rolls, eggs, and beans. Don't look too bad. They're waiting in line now. See, there's the next one in line. And there's somebody got the plate held out, getting ready to eat. That one's already got his plate full. And there's the cook rolling out dough for the biscuits. See it right there? Rolling out the old dough. Yeah. Oh, boy, howdy. Merciful heavens. Bobcat and vulture. Yep. That's what I was standing under just a few minutes ago. The chuck wagon. Oh, look at there. There we go. There we go. You got the beans there. Coffee pots. I love those coffee pots. Those are really cool. The campfire. And the plates, cups, and bowls. We've actually got a set of those camping type mugs and bowls and plates, but they're not that big. And we've got an actual campfire cooking pot when we was going camping. It's not that large, not that large. But we do have some similar to that. There's biscuits down there. See the biscuits down there? Biscuits and beans. That's all right. Food is food. Okay, there's where you'd wash up. So you'd wash your hands and face and grab your plate, your bowl, your coffee cup, and go down there and get your beans and your biscuits. That's a snake there on the right there by the campfire. There's branding irons where they've been branding. There's the water. There's where you get your water, drinking water. Yep. Oh, shave. So you could go up there. Okay, what the deal is. We've been branding cattle all day. You're hungry, you're hot, you're tired. So you come in here, you lay down your branding irons, and then you get a shave right there. Get yourself all nice clean. Then you wash your hands and face right there. See how the excess water we drained into the pail, empty the pail out and start all over again, you know. And then you start your way down like a buffet, you know. You grab your beans and your biscuits and your coffee, and oh, golly, I tell you what, you're good to go now. And there's another, looks like a big spoon up there. Ladies' side saddle. Out of Sedan, Kansas. Saddle used by Henry Wells in his early bank robberies. His horse was shot from under him in 1915 when he was returning to the Osage hideout with Silas Meggs and Al Spencer. The fight with the sheriff's posse took place about 400 yards south of where the museum now stands. The horse skull and shoes are shown here. Okay. Well, now what we just did was the 101 Ranch. And I always forget to show what's up top. I don't want to do that. Coyotes. Vulture. Bighorn sheep up there. And different kinds of horns. Cattle. Boy, check that out. Ooh-wee. There's probably pictures of the 101 Ranch. Tom Mix and his horse Tony. Tom Mix, of course, was a very famous actor way before my time. Actually, they're in Dewey, Oklahoma, which is just right next door to Bartlesville. There is a Tom Mix museum. Now, I've never been to that museum. I'm gonna have to go one of these days and go to that museum. Oklahoma is just rich with history. I mean, there's museums everywhere in Oklahoma. I mean, old towns, historic towns, museums. The 101, a city in itself, the 101 Ranch. I've heard about that, of course, but I've never been there. See, they had general offices, store, meat market. Had all kinds of stuff there, I guess, buildings and businesses. It was a ranch. This is the Ranch Rodeo, the 101 Ranch Rodeo. The 101 Ranch Wild West Show. The Miller Brothers. Colonel Miller's three sons, Joe, Zach, and George Lee, become the driving force of the 101 Ranch empire after their father's death in 1903. Joe, the eldest and chair of the 101 Ranch Trust, took over operations and farming, while the youngest, George, handled finances. Zach, the middle son, managed control of the ranch livestock. Okay, well, that's interesting. The founding of the 101 Ranch began in 1870 when Colonel George Washington Miller, his wife Molly, and their young son Joe left Kentucky for California. The Millers wintered in Missouri, then journeyed to Texas, where the Colonel traded several wagon loads of bacon for 400 head of cattle. Colonel Miller was so successful marketing his beef that he decided to start a ranching operation near Miami Indian Territory. Oh, now look here. After several successful years, Colonel Miller moved his operation further west and leased grazing land in the Cherokee Strip, a few miles south of the Kansas border in modern-day Kay and Noble counties. He purchased a home in Winfield, Kansas. That's my home. That's where I live, Winfield, Kansas, for his wife and three sons, Joe, Zach, and George. The family later built a large house at 101 Ranch, nicknamed the White House, just south of Ponca City. Man, I'd love to see all that, which of course you probably couldn't get to it. It's probably on private property. There's Timberwolf. There's a 101 Ranch saddle. Look how, that is just beautiful, isn't it? That is really pretty. Well, guys, I think we've seen it all in here. Now we need to go on to our next room here, gallery. There's another one of those chairs, just a smaller version. Well, I didn't know he bought a home in Winfield. That's kind of cool. And here's a bison. Now, the way I understand it is, the bison come from American country. The buffalo was European. or is European. There's a difference. One has the hump and one does not. If I'm not mistaken, now I could be wrong. There's just an awful lot to see here. There really is. Here's a bear claw necklace. These are all bear claw. They're just different. Pleasant Plains. That was Sioux. Bear claw and antler plains, and plains in is it comfortable? Here's a stool over here that's got the horns for the legs. Some of these paintings are just huge. Oh, here's one. He's saying, "Where have all my people gone?" We'll try to go around the outside and then we'll do the middle. Rawhide rattler, a gourd rattler, gourd rattler, gourd rattler. They're just different kinds. Elk hoof rattler. The medicine man. Ring and pin game. Dice. Pawnee. And these are hand games from the Osage. Whiskey guard. Okay. Osage horse catcher. That's what we're doing. Trying to catch a horse there. To tame. This is bow and arrow. Bow and quiver. Bow, arrows, and quiver. Plains type, Dakota, 1875. Oh, here you go. Remington Keene rifle, caliber .45-70. Bolt action rifle, 24-inch barrel, tubular. Oh, wow. Oh, these are so long, I can't get them all on the Spencer carbine. Boy, those are very long rifles. Probably very heavy too. Oh, look at the stagecoach. Fort Logan to Dorsey. That's pretty good size. Wow. Old Fort Logan, 20 miles northwest of White Sulphur Springs, Montana, as it looks today. Of course, there's your brake, I would assume. It's your brake. There's where the driver would sit. Those things are huge. The 6-horse Concord Express stagecoach saw 43 years of service in what is now Montana from 1869 until 1912. It traveled over 627,000 miles. That's crazy. And of course, there's where the passengers would sit. Very pretty, though. It really is. Really pretty on the inside. And of course, the luggage would go back here. Uh-oh. They're being held up now. Throw down all your possessions. They all got their arms up in the air. The robber there is taking all their belongings. Wow. Huh. Guys, I'm telling you, there's just a tremendous amount of stuff to see in this museum. There really is. This is the Pioneer Woman Monument at Ponca City, Oklahoma. We've been to the Pioneer Woman Museum in Ponca. It's a very nice museum, it really is, but that's a big statue that sits out in front of the museum. Look at these feather bonnets, aren't they beautiful? Feather bonnet crow, circa 1920, worn by yellow brow, golden eagle tail feathers, ermine skins, red wood trailer. Okay. Here's another statue of Pioneer Woman. Here's one with a baby. And yeah, there's several of these. There's one holding her baby and the rifle. Boy. Blanket strips. Voices in the wind. You know, sometimes on a stormy night when the wind's blowing real strong, sometimes you can hear the wind make different noises. Here's some moccasins. Fully beaded moccasins. Night song. I think they've got this one outside. on the grounds. Like I said earlier, sometimes they'll play flute music. They weren't doing it today. And here's, of course, Will Rogers. We've been to the Will Rogers Museum and home. We sure have. And more moccasins. Look at all of them. Different designs and, boy, everything. Well, I think we're going to go downstairs and take a look around. I think we're pretty much done in this gallery. This is the woman that's protecting her, maybe her husband has been shot by a bow in his side. That's not good. I'm not sure what these are. I don't know if it even says. I really don't know. I wouldn't even venture a guess. Okay, well, let's go downstairs, see what's downstairs. Oh, and I bet that's George Custer over here. I bet you. General Custer. Yep. The Last Stand. Yeah, really sad. He just had too many. Just didn't know there was going to be that many enemy. Okay, let's see what's down lower level here. There's a big, that, wow. Oh, wow, I completely forgot they had it downstairs. Oh, we'll go over there in a moment. We'll just kind of take a look around here and see what they got. A lot of paintings. The Mountain Man. Yeah, that's what it looks like, all right. The Outlaw. The Wicked Pony bucked off his rider there. He's holding on for dear life. Okay. Now see, here's a horse being scared or frightened by a rattlesnake. That would not be good. Boy, I tell you what now, ooh-wee. Here is an old-timey telephone booth. I don't know if you can go in there anymore. No, they got it bolted shut. The old telephone, the old pay telephone. I think they used to let people in there at one time, but I remember those, I sure do. Old fan up there in the corner, your light. And there's your telephone. Yep, these kids they would have no idea what that is. This says the early years. Frank Phillips, 1873 to 1950. The early years, the barber, the banker, the oilman, Uncle Frank, 66th birthday, and it goes on down like that. So we'll go take a look at all that. Here's a bronco buster trying to tame a wild horse, I would assume. And here is the memories of yesterday. The cow skull, the Native American there with the horse. And here's Uncle Frank and Aunt Jane enjoyed driving the circa 1890 doctor's buggy around the ranch during the 1930s and 40s. In February 1947, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips, dressed in the style of the 1890s, to arrive at the front door of the museum in this carriage to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. Now look at this picture. It looks just like it does today. Exactly. And this was in the 1947. So this museum has been here a very long time. And there's her horse and buggy. It looks very nice, doesn't it? This probably would have been the Cadillac of horse and buggies. Because, I mean, look how nice it is. The seats are just really nice. Looks like they've got rubber around their wheels. We'll just kind of take a look around, and then we'll look at this other thing here in a minute. Oh, here you go. This gentleman up here is selling elixir. It's supposed to cure everything. Guaranteed to kill arthritis, rheumatism, smallpox, distemper, bunions, insomnia, headache, warts. This remedy cured chickenpox, constipation, baldness, ringworm, measles, warts. And look at the people who are standing around watching him give his performance of trying to sell the miracle elixir. Professor Roscoe's Rocky Mountain Remedy. And they are taking it in now. So I'll take a bottle of that. It's hard to tell what it really was. It's probably just mainly alcohol. Oh, here you go. This is interesting too. This is replica of Frank Phillips, the president of Phillips 66 office. The New York City office of Frank Phillips. Look how beautiful that office is. Radio with some kind of liquor back there, decanters. And there's his desk. Picture of New York City, I suppose, in the background. A shoe tree. Different kinds of office type stuff. Inkwell, lamp, a pen to hold your pens. Phillips Petroleum Company, 1917. Cigar. Yep, that's Lindbergh at Paris in 33.5 hours. Slept on way, ran through a storm. Quite the office. Very beautiful. Of course, it would be that for a very wealthy oil man. Oh, look here, we got a cattle drive, it looks like. Yeah. Yep. Oh, here you go. We've got a, look here, bed and bath, 25 cents. Shang Li's, Chinese laundry, Diamond Lil's House of Massage. And so you've got, there's the gentleman carrying out the freshly done up laundry. Somebody up there in the bed and bath. And here's Gold Nugget Saloon. The Gold Nugget Saloon. Boy, God, they got a lot going on too. My goodness. I suppose that's the way it was. Oh, we got some gentlemen playing poker. Somebody on the piano. I always like that. That's just pretty cool. There's a couple sharing an embrace and a kiss. Yeah, we've already seen the Bronco Buster. I need to remember where I've been. The Warrior. Yeah, I think maybe we've already seen all this. Except for around the, I'm going to take you around here to the Frank Phillips years here. Here's the early years. There's their family. Quilt, and a eyeglass, tobacco pouch, and tools. The Phillips clan together at Willow Rock Lodge, November 13, 1926. And that lodge is still there today. Here's the barber. There's a barber pole. The first of Frank Phillips Crescent, Iowa barbershops. I guess he was a barber before he struck oil. I guess I didn't put that together before. Oh. The bank they did business, oil company. The banker. There's some certificates down there. The oil man, site of the Anna Anderson #1 in 1905. There's Frank, Phil, and L.E. Phillips Petroleum Company was incorporated in 1917 with 27 employees and assets of $3 million. By 1937, the net income of the company had reached $24.1 million for the first 21 years of operation. Frank Phillips served as company president, and his brother, L.E., held the office of vice president. In 1938, Frank recommended that K.S. Boots Adams should be elected president of the company. Frank served as chairman of the board of directors until 1949, when he asked to be relieved of all responsibilities. Of course, then he passed away in 1950, so he probably, there's an old Bartlesville, Oklahoma license plate. There's Main Street of Bartlesville, downtown Bartlesville. Will Rogers at Willow Rock, 1930. Uncle Frank. Frank Phillips, affectionately known as Uncle Frank by employees and friends, was a generous supporter of local churches, civic projects, political candidates, local efforts to relieve the needy, the Boy Scouts and other youth programs. He also organized the Frank Phillips Foundation, Inc., and donated his Willow Rock Ranch Museum to it in 1944. Quite a history. Wow. All kinds of Phillips 66 memorabilia, teddy bear. Happy 66th birthday. Outhouse. Jane Gibson Phillips, 1877 to 1948. Aunt Jane was born to John and Matilda Gibson on August 8, 1877 in Crescent, Iowa. She was known to friends as Jenny, but her father always affectionately called her Betsy. She led a comfortable life that consisted of masquerade balls, dances, lawn parties, and church socials. Jane maintained a strong family life that revolved around Frank, her son John, her two foster daughters, Mary Frances and Sarah Jane. Everyone who knew Jane was impressed by her wit, intelligence, kindness, and sense of humor. Jane passed away on August 31st, 1948, just 1 week shy of her 71st birthday. Uncle Frank's place. During my lifetime, I derived a great deal of pleasure in building Willow Rock Ranch and Museum. Through its medium, I tried to preserve and perpetuate a part of the country I knew as a young man. In this museum are relics of many milestones in the progress of this country and the company which bears my name. I hope the ranch and museum can be preserved and maintained as a monument to the West as I knew it in the days before Phillips Petroleum Company was organized. Frank Phillips, 1944. In the fall of 1929, Frank Phillips opened a building that would soon become Willow Rock Museum. With this, he began to build his ranch into more than just a rich man's playground. Over the next 2 decades, Frank Phillips Ranch and Willow Rock Museum became his tribute to the spirit and atmosphere of the Old West as he perceived it. And here's a warning. Private game preserve, no trespassing, Frank Phillips Ranch. And here's the entrance, the front gate and gatekeeper's cabin, 1928. I don't know, that may still be there, who knows? It's a lot of property. A lot of it you never get to see. Frank Phillips Buffalo Range. There's the elk. We took some pictures. I'll put those at the end of my video. There's a tortoise shell. It looks like a ostrich egg or something. That's a big egg. Lasso, some boots. These all probably belong to Frank Phillips. There's a picture of Frank Phillips. There's his hat and boots. And chaps. FP Ranch, October 1928. That's just crazy. Here's a Cow Thieves and Outlaws reunion, September 27th, 1930. Oh, his statue, Frank Phillips at the Cow Thieves and Outlaws reunion, wood carving by Lynn O'Dowtree, 2012. Well, that's fairly recent. Carving. The Lodge and bathhouse at Clyde Lake, about 1929. Now, we passed the Clyde Lake, and we passed the lodge on the way in, but you really couldn't see it very well. He also had a private clubhouse. That may not still be there, I don't know. Uncle Frank's room in the lodge, it's very beautiful, as you can just imagine. Aunt Jane's room. Here's the way the museum looked in 1940. There's the front of it. Looks much like it does today. animal bird cages adjacent to the museum entrance. Now, I don't remember seeing those, but I imagine there's a few things that aren't still here. That was here back in the day. Calendar from 1952. Woolaroc. The name Woolaroc was coined by Mr. Phillips' business associate, Miss Sidney Fern Butler. The name reflects the principal elements of the FP Ranch: woods, lakes, and rocks. Mr. Phillips was fond of pointing out the grave of old Chief Woolaroc just down the hill from the lodge. In fact, no such person ever existed, but it was made for a good story to impress visitors. In addition to the Travel Air 5000 airplane that won the Dole Air Race from California to Hawaii, Mr. Phillips named his personal corporate aircraft after his ranch. The name was carried into battle on several U.S. warplanes as well. Wow, now that I did not know. Here's some actual Woolaroc frozen food cabinets that sold for $285. They had their own appliances. Here's radios. Woolaroc table model radio. Wow. You know, I do think I remember that. And here's a record player, radio. This deluxe console model combination radio and phonograph was the top of the line in 1948 of the Woolaroc appliance catalog. Oh, howdy, I tell you what now. And here is Frank Phillips playing the oil canvas. It was taken during the 1930 Cow Thieves and Outlaws reunion. Frank Phillips is holding the baby grandson of Osage Chief Fred Lookout and his wife Julia. Wow, how cool is that? Okay, guys, I think we've been all the way around this. But there's more buildings. There's more rooms down here to go through in the downstairs level. Let's go over here and see what we got. This is like a maze once you get in here. It's just room after room after room. And this has got a lot of weapons in it, a lot of guns. I mean, this is just crazy. I can't even begin to show them all individually. But I'll just kind of walk by and let you look at all these weapons. And there are a ton. I mean a ton. This wraps all the way around. There's just no way to get them all. This is crazy. Look at this. It just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, pistols and shotguns. Wow. Best thing you could do if you live anywhere near the Woolaroc Museum, just outside of about 12 miles from Bartlesville, is really come and pay them a visit and see this for yourself, because there is just a ton. I mean, a ton of stuff to see in this museum. You probably ought to be done in 2 days, but I was going to try to get it all done in 1 day. You could probably do this. You could probably take 2 days, maybe 3. Depends on how long you want to look at everything. I don't like to go this fast, but oh my gosh, this is just incredible. This kind of gives you an idea of the gun collection that he had. Police revolvers. I mean, a lot of these are police revolvers. Long rifles and short rifles, and probably some rare ones in here that don't even exist anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, this is a 1895 to 1914 machine gun, the potato digger. I can only imagine what that thing was like to fire. Just crazy. That video kind of shows you how it worked. Man. Very loud, I would imagine. Oh, merciful heavens. Everything from the very long rifled weapons to the little tiny pistols and oh man, that's crazy. 38 specials and you name it, 45 calibers and oh boy. There's 45 calibers right there, 2 of those. It shows you how they worked and how they operated, and yeah. I've actually fired a 45 caliber. Learned how to take it apart, put it back together, blindfolded, and there's an from the Army, a canteen, your holster for your weapon. Yeah, now here's your parts. I had them all laid out like that. Yep. There's just too many to show individually. There's just no way. They're very beautiful and all that, but there's just too many. Now this is an M52A machine gun. Look, this thing is huge. I don't know how in the world they ever carried this thing around. I can only imagine how heavy that thing is. Caliber 50 Browning is a 50 cal. Now, I fired the 50 cal, but of course, it didn't look anything like this. Actually, the 50 cal was a aircraft. Water-cooled, recoil-operated. 145 pounds was the weight of the gun and the M3 tripod. Wow, wow, wow. I fired a 50 cal, like I said, it didn't look like that, of course. This is 1883 Gatling gun. That's where your rounds would go. 45 to 70 government, 10, 52, or 32-inch barrels, 52-inch overall length, weight 260 pounds without mount. Rate of fire 800 to 1,500 rounds per minute. Magazine capacity was 104 rounds. It was one bad dad now of a weapon. Ooh, you would not be on the wrong end of that. Ooh wee, that's crazy. And whenever I was in, I got to fire the 50 cal and the bazooka, but the bazooka was replaced by the M72 law. Disposable weapon, fire it once, you destroy it. Disposable. Because the enemy would get a hold of it, they'd make a booby traps out of it. Very beautiful weapons, they really are. This is crazy. There's a big old grizzly bear. You wouldn't want to come up on that, I'm guaranteeing you. This, I think this is like a makeup or mock-up of his workshop area where he stored all of his items that he got from excavations and exploring. There's the Willow Rock airplane that he had. It's just crazy in here. All kinds of stuff. Just packed full. And there again, just too much to show. Skull of ancient elephant shot by Dr. Clarence Franck in Indonesia, February of 1937. Ivory carvings. Look how beautiful those carvings are. Just beautiful. Shrunken heads. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, guys, I think we're going to move on. I know I'm really going through this, but this is just crazy. Okay, now we'll show you something over here. This is the AR-15, but it's almost exact replica to the M16 that I carried. Just pretty close, same weapon. Well, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much the same weapon. I had to learn how to take those all apart too and put them back together and all that good stuff. It's not easy because these barrel guards right there, well, they're almost impossible to take off. Oh, I used to hate to take those off and clean them. You pinch your fingers right here where the guard went in, that ring down there at the bottom, right here. If you got that jammed in or caught in your finger, that hurt. Now, I'm not lying. I know, been there and done all that. Oh, boy, I tell you what. This is the coolest room, in my opinion, of the whole museum. I'm gonna go. I think you can go upstairs and look at it from up above. This is a lease home. The time is the early 1930s, and our family consists of lease pumper, Oscar Garrison, his wife Mary Jo, and young son Jack, and baby girl Shelby. The Garrison home is primitive, rather austere, because life had little room for frills during the era of the Great Depression. Oscar and Mary Jo felt blessed to have a job at a place to call home. That's what they lived in while they were working on the oil wells. Let's go in there and just take a peek. Yeah? I don't know. I don't think it looks all that bad. You've got a nice stove over there. Looks like that got bread. Maybe some rolls there coming out. All your stuff you need to bake and cook. Kitchen table there. Yep. Bedroom area. Dresser. Back in the corner. Looks like the man had his suit laid out, getting ready to go to church or something. It does look like it'd be very cozy though. Very nice. Now the green cottage, I took pictures of it. That's just past the main gate is a Phillips 66 gas station. I even tried to get some pictures of the inside. Here's an old GMC pickup. American Torpedo Company of Oklahoma, Bartlesville. Wow, how cool is that? 1952 torpedo truck. It's big too. This is a big old truck now, for being as old as it is. Got a big spotlight on the back. Yeah, on the back cab of the cab there. Here's old oil pumps. New Aviation Phillips gasoline. Well, let me see what we got here. Drilling machine, steam gasoline or natural gas engine, drill bit, drilling rig, 1901 to 1906. This is what they used, early 1900s, drilling rig. Granger Oil Company, Phillips 66, since 1933, Ottawa, Kansas. Yep. Now. Okay. Another old oil tanker. If you like to see things like this, there's a Conoco Oil Museum in Ponca. In Ponca. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting to go see. We're going to go upstairs, look around for a little bit, then we're going to come back down. I don't know how much is left. We've been here since 10:30, and it's after 1 o'clock now, and I don't know. This thing just goes on and on and on. But I'm going to go upstairs. We're going to look at this from the top down, and then we're going to go on. I just noticed the owl on top of the old gas station. See the owl? There's the owl. And now we're upstairs. There's the Willow Rock airplane. There's a view of the old oil trucks, tankers, and stuff like that from up here. Really get a pretty good look from up here. Yeah, we're not going to... we may not get this all done, guys. And I apologize, but it's just too much to do in one day. Plus, right now it gets dark so early. But I'm going to see what else we can get done here. There's just a lot to see. I'm not lying. And so I completely forgot about... look at this. Oh my. Oh, there's no way. I think we're going to have to skip some of this, guys, because it's just too much. You'd almost need 2 days to go through this. Oh, circus parade. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go on. Guys, we're gonna. Okay. I was going to show this railroad set he's got here. Look at that. Oh, there's a little gas station that sits up front as you're coming into the museum. Old oil wells. And you can make all this work if you so choose. A mill, airport, cooling station, gas station, fire station, with the old gas station. Actually, I don't know if anything even works anymore. The drive-through. Oh, look at the drive-through. No? Oh no, nothing's turning on. It used to work. I don't know. I like that though. I like the old church. And the old school. Mills Drive-In from American Graffiti. An old movie theater. Firehouse. The old gas station. Yeah, really cool. Yeah. Really nice, but I just don't know why anything. Evidently they don't have it turned on. Then on this side they've got a depot, cold drinks, live bait, IGA, barbershop, hotel, hardware, bait, tackle. Yeah, that's a shame. I don't know why it's not running. But I can't see where to turn it on anywhere. That's all right. Maybe they don't have any. Oh, you know what? There's no train on the tracks. That's why it's not working. It's not even open. It's not even running anymore. Train. Oh, now wait a minute. Yeah, it does. You got to push the right button. We'll follow it around here. It goes pretty good clip. Oh, there's another one. Well, I'll be... Yeah, there's either a tunnel there. Well, yeah, it works. You gotta know which button to push. Huh. That's crazy, ain't it? I thought, now I know there's got to be a way that this turns on. Pump jack. Mill. Oh, got to hold in on it. Okay, here comes the train again. Boat trains. How cool is that? Huh? Okay, I see the gas station. The door lifts up. How cool is that? I wasn't holding it. You got to hold it on the button. There's the fire engine. Huh. Oh, look, the car's pulling out. The car pulled out of the garage into the pump area, gas pump area. Oh, there's a door lifting up for the fire truck. Is it going to come out? Yep, here it comes. Well, I'll be a son of a gun. I was getting ready to leave. And it does work. Now see the car backs up. It goes back into the garage. You gotta be smarter than the... Oh, now the door's gonna close. Alright. The drive-through. Wow. Huh. Windmill. I'm gonna try to keep up with it. It goes pretty fast now. Huh? There it goes down that way. There it goes again. All right, well, I'm glad I finally got it figured out. That's kind of weird. I just wasn't being patient enough. Okay. All right. I suppose they'll stop here in a minute. Okay. I like that though. That's just pretty cool. Okay, guys, we're gonna go on. I think we're about done. Let's go back upstairs. I think we're about done. Yeah, it stopped. I wasn't being patient enough. It takes a while for that to start running. Look at these old doors right here. I wonder if there's like an old elevator or something. I bet it was. That's brass too. Look at that. That's pretty. Okay, let's go on. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I just got to get back upstairs. Okay. Okay, guys, I think we've pretty well seen it all. We may have missed a gallery or two, but I think we tore through most of it. Okay. Head to the gift shop and head on out.
That's next one, the exit. Is that what you're looking for?
No, it's okay.
Well, the gift shop did not go out. Okay, I know some do. This one does not. You'll have to go back and where you came in from. I do think we saw 99%. Now we're not going to go to the other building today because of the time. But we'll be back and we'll do it. We'll look at the ground some more probably next spring or summer. We'll do the outside. Maybe take some hiking trails and go through the other building. Maybe. Okay, right back where we started. Okay. Well, here we go. Hope you enjoyed this tour of the Willow Rock Museum and some of the grounds. Obviously we can't today. For one thing, it's just too windy. And for another thing, it's getting on into the afternoon. So, but we'll be back. Hope you enjoyed it. As much as we did today. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. These are purely for enjoyment and entertainment. I gotta help myself. Be careful as I go down the stairs here. Boy, howdy, I tell you what. Ooh-wee. All right. We're going to go ahead and go. Remember to go out and explore your world. Have fun, but be safe. Enjoy yourself, whatever it is that you like to do. Hope you have a nice Thursday. The weekend's coming up. Have a nice, safe day and future days. And as always, we will see you on the next video. So, goodbye for now.